On July 1st, two people broke into one of the most secure buildings in New York City. They slipped past locked gates and warning signs, climbing higher and higher into the sky. At the very top of the Empire State Building, 1,100 feet above Fifth Avenue, they unfurled a banner. Then the man dropped to one knee. Minutes later, both of them were in handcuffs. Prosecutors called it burglary, reckless endangerment, and criminal trespass. The couple called it something else entirely, a proposal. So the real question is not why they got arrested, it's why love made two rational adults do something this extreme. To understand that answer, you have to look inside the brain, not the heart. The moment someone falls for another person, their brain floods with dopamine. It's the same chemical spiked by winning, by risk, and by addiction. That's why new love can feel like a high, because neurologically it behaves like one. Researchers at Rutgers University scanned the brains of people newly in love. They found the exact same reward circuits lighting up that activate during substance use. This is not poetic exaggeration, it's measurable brain chemistry. Once that circuit takes over, ordinary risk calculations start to blur. Climbing an antenna above Manhattan stops registering as dangerous and starts registering as unforgettable. The brain has already decided the moment is worth more than the consequences. This was not the first time love has pushed people onto ledges and rooftops. Public proposals at the Eiffel Tower, on stadium screens, live on television, all trade caution for a bigger emotional payoff. Psychologists describe part of this as self-expansion theory. It's the idea that we're drawn to partners who make us feel like a bigger, bolder version of ourselves. The two climbers were not new to danger. They had built an entire career scaling skyscrapers together before this stunt ever happened. For them, height had already become a language of devotion. So standing on top of an American landmark didn't feel like sacrifice. It felt like their love story reaching its loudest chapter. That's the pattern researchers keep finding everywhere. When love and identity fuse, sacrifice stops feeling like sacrifice. It starts feeling like simply who you are. But this same wiring carries a shadow worth naming honestly. The antenna they climbed broadcasts radio signals strong enough to injure a human body. Officials had to power it down before officers could safely climb up and reach the couple. That detail matters because it shows exactly how far love's reward circuits can push people past an obvious warning sign. Security experts warned afterward that a stunt like this could end in tragedy the next time someone tries it. Psychologists say a quieter version of that same override happens inside relationships every single day. People excuse behavior from a partner that they would flag instantly in a friend's relationship. They lower their own standards again and again, convinced that loyalty will eventually be rewarded. Love is not only chemistry, it's persuasion. It quietly convinces a rational mind that unreasonable risk is worth taking. So where exactly is the line between devotion and danger? Psychologists point to one clear signal. In healthy love, taking a risk for someone still leaves you standing afterward. In something closer to obsession, the risk itself starts to matter more than the person it was for. Two people choosing together to chase a shared reckless dream is different from one partner risking themselves purely to win the other's approval. Knowing that difference will not stop the chemicals from firing, but it can stop you from mistaking spectacle for real connection. And it can help you notice the difference in your own life long before it ever reaches a rooftop. Strip away the antenna, the handcuffs, and the felony charges, and this story is not actually unusual. A father works 3 jobs so his daughter never once feels poor. A soldier writes letters home every single night from inside a war zone. A stranger texts someone at 3 in the morning just to make sure they're still okay. And 2 influencers risk arrest 1,200 feet above Fifth Avenue for one unforgettable photograph. Different scale, same wiring, the same brain deciding one person is worth more than comfort, more than consequence, sometimes even more than freedom. None of them believe they're doing anything unusual. To them, it's simply love. Whatever happens in that Manhattan courtroom this August, one thing about this story will never go to trial. For a few minutes on top of one of the most photographed buildings on the earth, two people proved exactly how far this ancient wiring can push a person. Maybe that's not madness at all. Maybe it's just an extreme, very public example of something every one of us carries quietly inside. If this video helped you understand why love pushes people past their own limits, subscribe now, because next time we're breaking down what happens inside the brain the moment that same love ends. See you in the next one.